Hi guys, it's Siva. So I had another seminar this weekend and I wanted to do a quick video about it. I had the Top Dog seminar last weekend, I had this seminar this weekend, and then 2 weeks from now is the tribal gathering. I'm not fighting, I'm not tribe, but there's a seminar the night before with Lonely Dog. So yeah, it's been a very, very seminar heavy few weeks and it will continue to be. But anyway, I wanted to talk about this seminar. So it was a women's self-defense seminar, and I took, because I'm always interested in training and learning new things. Obviously, as someone who has studied martial arts and taken a lot of seminars, like self-defense has been covered quite a lot, and I've taken women's self-defense classes before. But I always am open to learning new things, and I think I can get something out of all of these. So I wanted to take another one, and the person who was teaching it was someone that I think had a lot of interesting stuff to offer, and it definitely delivered on that count. So it's funny because like 2 weeks ago on Facebook, several of my friends were having various self-defense related conversations, like independent of each other. One friend was going on a rant kind of about self-defense classes that don't have like the prevention component. They start from like, okay, what do you do if a guy grabs you? And they don't talk about, prevention, situational awareness, and how do you get to the point to where the guy is grabbing you, sort of thing. And he was talking about how like that's such an important component to self-defense, so like why don't classes cover that, which is a very true point. And then another friend was talking about how like self-defense classes aren't very useful because if you're learning any sort of technique, unless you rep it lots of times, unless you train regularly, you're not going to be able to actually do that technique in a panic or an adrenalized state. And so he was very critical of self-defense classes for that reason. And both of those are totally valid points. But I also kind of feel like you're going to get something, even if the class is very limited and you don't get much out of it, even if you learn one technique that's questionable if you'll ever execute it, like it's better to have something than nothing, right? Unless that little something gives you a really, really false sense of confidence that you're out there like, oh, I can do anything because I know this one technique, which realistically, I don't think there's any ladies out there who are going to take a 1 hour seminar and suddenly think that they can, kick people's asses and are being reckless as a result, right? But there are still valid points. But I think it's better to have something rather than nothing. But I wanted to check this one out, in part because I thought maybe it would be one of those good self-defense classes that covers more than just what to do if someone grabs you, and I was absolutely right. The guy who taught it, I played with him a little, and so I knew from him explaining, hey, you should do this and this, that he was a pretty good teacher. He seemed like he was really, really good at explaining things. And he's someone who has worked in security for a long time. I think he said 3 decades at the seminar, so a long time. He runs like a security firm, like training security guards and bodyguards, but also he has been one of those. So yeah, a lot of real world experience in addition to martial arts experience. He teaches martial arts, I believe, and he's also a dog brother and has been fighting for a very long time. In fact, I think he's probably one of the guys that has been fighting the longest of the people that still fight. I can think of maybe only a handful of other guys that go that far back that are still fighting. So yeah, very knowledgeable, very experienced on a lot of levels. And like I said, he seemed like a really good teacher, so I thought this is going to be the perfect seminar. And it was really, really great. A bit of a hike for me, but worth the drive for sure. It was a 3-hour seminar, and I think we did about maybe either half and half or maybe an hour of talking and 2 hours of technique. So there was a lot of the situational awareness and the prevention and the dispelling myths of self-defense or of crimes and criminal behavior and things like that. So that part was very, very useful, and again, not something covered very often in self-defense classes, at least not like one-day seminars. Maybe if you take a long course, it'll be covered. That was really cool. And then the techniques we did were very, very basic, and we got a decent number of reps on them. We did hammer fist, palm strike, just a straight kick, and knees. And he got us a decent number of reps on those, but all of them are very mechanically simple, and so I don't think necessarily they are things that you need thousands of reps on and regular training really to execute some of the more complicated techniques you see in self-defense seminars, which I've seen in other ones that I've taken. For sure, definitely a lot of those where they have multiple steps. Yeah. But for these, it was basically just about learning those basic things and then comboing them. And then at the end, he suited up, padded up, and all that stuff, and we got to beat on him for 30 seconds a person, or rather we had to fend him off for 30 seconds. And that was kind of cool. It's very hard to do, to cross that barrier where you're like actually willing to hit someone hard, for someone who hasn't done it. Probably maybe everyone who is watching this, all two of you have done that before. But I've done sparring where we're playing around. I'm not actually trying to go full power. And I mean, I still didn't. It was still very hard for me to go full power, but like he wouldn't accept you just lightly hitting him or indicating, you had to actually do it. So that was an experience, and I'm sure for a lot of the ladies there was like that. And I actually got a lot of reps of all the material. In fact, I was fucking exhausted afterwards because he paired me up with his assistant in the class. And of course, she knows the materials. She's been in the class lots of times. She knows everything. She's not going to get reps on stuff. So where everybody else was switching sides and taking turns, I was just doing double or triple the reps of everything. So it was a very good workout. I was very exhausted afterwards. Yeah, it was a good seminar. Also, he recommended this book. I will show it to you. I have not read it yet. In fact, I went online to buy it today. And my husband goes, "Don't buy that. I have that." And he brought it in and gave it to me. So I will read this, and maybe I'll do a book review video on it like I did for On the Warrior's Path, if I have anything insightful to say about it. Or if I don't, because I make these videos regardless. That's everything, and of course I have that in 2 weeks. I have that seminar with Lonely Dog. It'll be my third seminar with him. Of course, I did the one in Hanover when we went to Germany for the European Tribal, or the European Gathering that my husband fought in, and then I did another one with him in Illinois, and I made videos, I think, for both of those, or at least for the seminar I went to in Illinois, because that one was really great. So probably I'll do a video on that again. At least maybe I'll do something on the Tribal, which will be the 3 days following that. It's the 30th anniversary of the Dog Brothers, so it's gonna be a 3-day Tribal, and my husband will be fighting, and actually he will be fighting Quiet Dog, the guy who did the seminar, who is about twice his size. So we'll see how that goes. I support my husband, and I believe in him, and I think he is a good fighter. But Miguel is a lot bigger than him and has a lot of years of experience. So try not to worry too much. We're just Anyway, I wanted to just make a video on it, record my thoughts while they were still fresh. So thank you for watching.